Hello, everyone. Happy Pride Month. And let's not also forget that it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So I just want to give a shout out to some very famous figures in our history that were homosexual and were gay and made a huge difference in our lives. This is Philip, Duke of Orleans. He was known as the king's little brother. They called him Petit Monsieur. He was in two famous world basically wars for France. He also participated, he was the leader, and because his brother is the king, and he defeated William of Orange, and it was a big deal. He was very well respected of the French soldiers, had a lot of admiration and respect for him because he saved some of them and fought just as hard as they did. And he was homosexual. He was married twice. He had children. He did have a hard time. From what I understand, there was some difficulties in having children, but he performed his duties. He performed his duties in the military, and he performed his duties in the bedroom for the monarchy, so France could continue. He was known for wearing makeup. He was known for wearing women's dresses, and he was a boss-ass bitch, and he won wars. Another person from our past that I want to give a mad shout-out to, who was also a well-known homosexual, is Baron Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben. Okay, he actually wrote a book for the military. It's a book that our military still uses today. If hopefully they didn't get rid of it, because we still use it today. It still saves lives. It is part of when you join the military. I believe that they hand you this book that von Steuben is responsible for publishing. Okay, he was a great friend of George Washington during the Revolutionary War, and basically he saved our lives as well. I mean, he's just another guy that he made a huge difference in our military. Without this man, who is gay, who was well known to have a lover, and George Washington, from what some history books say, George Washington was well aware of his sexual preferences. Von Steuben took one look at our revolutionary soldiers and realized that we were in desperate need of a Queer Eye for the Straight Guy episode. I don't know if any of you remember that show, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. I really wish it would come back because my husband would benefit very well for Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. They could really help us out. But anyway, besides that point, von Steuben, he took one look at our revolutionary soldiers who were dying by the dozens per day. Do you know what they were dying from? Dysentery. They were dying from disease. Our revolutionary soldiers that were fighting for America's freedoms were dropping like flies because, we didn't understand hygiene very well. And von Steuben, who I believe is from Prussia, okay, so he understood hygiene and taught our revolutionary American soldiers how to wash their hands, basically after they, were behind a bush taking a poo. He said, you got to go rinse your hands off. He's either in this picture, in this painting here, you see von Steuben and George Washington. You see the guy behind him there with that bucket. I mean, they got there's like fabric on their feet because they didn't have boots. Okay. We were in desperate need of von Steuben Queer Eye for the Straight Guy episode because we were dying and we didn't have shoes, we didn't have proper equipment, and he helped us formulate the things that we needed to survive, even how to eat on the battlefield and how to go to the bathroom on the battlefield. He taught us how to use soap and take care of our teeth and hygiene and things like that, and it is still part of the military today. The book that was published, like I said, every soldier that joins the military is handed this handbook that teaches them how to take care of themselves out on the battlefield. So we owe the American freedom, the American, winning the Revolutionary War to a well-known homosexual that was good friends with George Washington, who taught George Washington how to be basically a better leader. And von Steuben still we celebrate his manual today. So I just want to give thanks to these men. I know that's over in France for Philip I, but he still was an amazing soldier. So I'm just going to end it with this. I don't want to get political. I'm just saying that, I understand there's a lot of conflict with gays in the military, homosexuals in the military, transgender in the military. I'm just going to say this. If my dumb ass gets stranded somewhere and I need to be rescued because I probably did something that I wasn't supposed to do and I ended up needing to be rescued by the National Guard, or if I needed to have actually the Coast Guard or the military come in and save my dumb ass, I'd probably have my sidekick daughter with me who's going through a serious goth phase right now. She's got the razor blade necklace and the bullet belt. She's really gone through goth. But all I'm saying is, she probably looks a little bit more scarier than them right now with her makeup. But that's okay. I love that she's going through this goth phase. I went through my little punk rock phase too when I was a teenager. Anyway, if we needed to be rescued, me and my daughter, I would not care if it was a transgender woman or man that rescued me. I wouldn't care if it was a straight man that wore makeup or a gay man that wore makeup or a woman that looked more like a man. I would not care who rescued me and my daughter. Let's say we were floating out on a raft in the middle of the ocean and we were in desperate need of rescue. I would gladly reach out to that hand that's trying to rescue me and my daughter, and I would not care where they went to the bathroom. I would just be happy that they rescued me and saved me and my family. That's the thing. I mean, you make such a big deal about, where do the transgender people go to the bathroom on the battlefield? Everybody's shitting their pants on the battlefield. Seriously, who cares? Everybody's going behind the bush. They're in nature, fighting a war. I don't really think they think about the bathroom. Okay, and there's things that we can do to make it fair. And I just think it's such a small percentage. I really don't think it's a big deal, but that's just my own opinion. I don't have any hate towards any isolated groups at all. So, or any other religions or sexual orientation. I don't really care. All I would care about is getting rescued and saved. And I would not care if they were gay or trans. I would just want to be saved. So, God bless everybody. I think God teaches us to love everyone. And I think that we should, regardless of our differences, cultures, backgrounds, sexual orientation, or whatever. Happy Pride Month. You are needed and you are loved. Blessings, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.